Why, hello, and welcome to the show. It is Sunday. Why did I want to say September? It is not September, is it? No, it's August 20th. August 30th, excuse me, 2020. I don't know what I was looking at, but anyway. Hello, and welcome to the show, Zach. Are you here?
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Now I got you.
Hello?
Yep, I can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, man. I was like, are we having technical difficulties already? Oh, man. So, today's show may be more of a laid-back kind of show. I'm exhausted. I don't know. I've been moping
That's
around
fair.
all day. Did you say that's fair?
Yep.
So, anyway, but yeah, off last week and back this week. So, there's the first yawn of the show. Anyway, yeah, today's show is going to be the Apple show, basically. Lots of Apple news. So probably the biggest and the big thing we're going to talk about this week is, did you hear the giant fallout between Apple and Epic?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. I have not looked that much into it, so I don't know the full story. I just know that there's a thing going on. And I think this may tie into part of the reasoning behind it, but we're also going to talk about the Apple App Store tax. And their outrageous, I guess, we'll talk about it. Something about, if you want to be on Apple's platform, you got to follow their rules. Microsoft news. AMD dropped the RX 5300. 5300 apparently. So we'll sort of kind of talk about that. And Apple is planning to, I think, launch their own search engine. Will it be more successful than Bing? Find out at 10. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, with that, I suppose we should probably roll the intro. So we'll do that. And back to us. So, yeah, let's start off with this whole Apple has now terminated Epic's App Store account following legal dispute between the two companies. Now, okay, have you looked into any of this at all, Zach?
Yeah, I know what happened.
Okay,
you know what?
so give me the TDL.
They're both greedy companies, and whatever. I don't know.
So give me the TLDR.
Epic put Apple wants all in-app purchases to go through them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Epic broke the rules and put in-app purchases that go through Epic and Epic only into their Fortnite, right? Whatever. Okay, fine. Well, Apple doesn't like that. Apple says that's against their rules, and it is. They didn't just add that rule. That rule has always existed. And so they terminated the account. I don't know, that's it. That's literally it. They did the same thing, or Google did the same thing, because Epic did it on both of them, both platforms. I don't know.
I thought...
And now they are attempting to make themselves look like the victims of an evil, corporation. When they're the good guys,
we'll talk about that in our next story, because...
You asked me about it now, so I told you about it now.
Well, no, I'm talking about this whole them playing the victim thing.
Mm-hmm.
look, Epic is a giant company and has more than enough money, but Apple is also. We'll get into it in the next topic. Let's cover this real quick here. But okay, that's good. I thought Google didn't care quite as much.
Well, Google, or actually, I thought, well, I don't know. Google is more open, but they did get pulled from Play as well, I believe.
Well, as previously warned by Apple's Epic App Store account.
Now you're having me doubt myself. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they got pulled from Play.
I'm not quite sure. Well, we'll look into that. Actually, I tell you what. Could you search that?
I can, yeah.
So I'll get started with this. As previously warned by Apple, Epic's App Store account has now been terminated due to Fortnite developers knowingly violating App Store policy. And, okay, so as Zach said, it was in their policy already. It's not like Epic didn't know it. So it's perfectly within Apple's legal right to terminate the account. As simple as that. Epic Games still had a few apps available for iOS aside from Fortnite, and they were all removed the other day. Let's see, when was this article published? This was published on the 28th, so that was on Friday. Now, Fortnite for iOS was updated earlier this month with a new option that allowed users to purchase in-game items directly through Epic's payment system instead of using Apple's in-app purchases. Once Apple removed Fortnite from the App Store, Epic Games started a public campaign and a legal battle against Apple, which led the
I think I was wrong about Google Play. I don't remember. I'm trying to find it right now.
Which led the Cupertino-based company to announce that it would terminate Epic's developer account. Again,
I think that Epic and Google had a different disagreement. It wasn't this one, though.
You might be right. Anyway, back to this, though, is that, yes, you're right. Again, like we said, Apple had this in their terms of service. It was in their policies saying that apps have to run through them, or app purchases have to run through their payment system. And Epic knowingly decided to disobey that, and now they are facing the consequences for it. So, if we look at it from that standpoint, then, yeah, Apple is well within their legal rights here. So, this is exactly what Apple did.
Oh, no, they got kicked off of Google Play, too.
For
I was right
what?
the whole time.
For what?
For the same thing.
Really? I didn't realize that the Google Play Store was... Google made you use their payment processing system for stuff. I thought they were just kind of like, we don't care.
Google doesn't care if you sideload apps, but if you're using their store, they want their money.
For sure. But here's the thing then. For the average normie, they're not going to go through the trouble of side-loading it.
Google has a way better case because, it's really not that hard to sideload apps on Android. You just click the installer and that's it. The phone will prompt you, are you sure you want to do that because of blah, blah, security? But it will do it. No problem. On iPhone, the process is way more involved, and it's really not a viable defense for Apple to say, oh, but you can do that, so you don't have to use our store. Well, you really can't. It's technically possible.
So, does that create the case where Apple has... I don't know if you call it a monopoly.
The whole argument is that Apple does, functionally pretty much have a monopoly on...
Right, they do.
iPhones. Technically, no, they don't, because, people jailbreak their phones and people sideload stuff occasionally.
Hold on, though. Hold on.
Really
jailbreaking your phone.
It's really uncommon.
Jailbreaking your phone.
And that doesn't even count because you're not supposed to do that. Apple says you're not supposed to do that.
Right, exactly.
So
that's the
thing.
thing.
We don't allow you to do that, and they can get away with that. But I mean, sideloading apps,
So,
I mean, I don't even know
hold
how you
on.
do that anymore. I would have known a long time ago, but I don't anymore. It's, if I remember correctly, you need iTunes and a computer and, some digging through menus to make it work.
Hold on though. So I think yes, if we dive into that real quick here. So on a Android device, you can sideload apps.
Really easily. You can just go on Epic's website and just download it and just click it. It will install. You're done.
Perfect. Now,
That's it.
if we go to the Apple side of things, did you say you don't agree with them having a monopoly?
I mean, I think, well, I'm just laying out, like, the arguments pretty much. I kind of do think that there's a way stronger case that, Apple kind of functionally does have a monopoly, but
See, I would
there is
agree
also
with
the
that
argument
statement.
that it's their store, so they can do what they want, and fair enough, but I don't know. I mean,
Well, okay. Hold on. Hold that thought. You're right. It is their store and they have their policies and they're allowed to do that. Same thing with Google. They have their store, they have their policies, they're allowed to do that. But where we start to run into the issue of does Apple potentially have a monopoly, I think is the fact that, look, on an Android device, you can easily sideload an app. On an iPhone, you cannot do that. And if you do, you're technically breaking Apple's terms of service for a device
I don't think that sideloading an app on a not jailbroken phone is against the rules. I just think that if I remember correctly, it's really tricky and finicky. And
by design,
exactly
though.
How to do it.
By
Yes,
design.
Of course. Apple could easily make it simple to do, but they've chosen not to. Of course.
Right.
It's not hard.
By design.
But yeah, I mean, you have to have iTunes, you have to have a computer, you have to plug it in, you have to fuss with it and dig through menus, and, people don't, and not only that, but a lot of people don't even know you can do that.
Right. And I think that's where you may run into that case where Apple has somewhat of a monopoly.
I think that, I mean, I'm sure there will be a big legal battle about it, and it will take.
But here's the thing: jailbreaking your iPhone is against Apple's terms of service.
So nobody's going to even talk about jailbreaking because, yeah, like you said, it's against their rules.
It is against the rules, but for a device that you own.
Well, that's dumb too, but I think that's another argument. That's a whole other debate.
That is a whole other debate. But for a device that you own, I should be allowed to do what it is that I want with that device.
Like, I think that all manufacturers should be required to make tools available to unlock your device if you choose to do so. But
I think that's fair enough. I personally wouldn't do it because I just don't find the need to. But I agree. I am sure that there are plenty of people out there that would love that functionality.
It's like 2 things I'd do it for. And you know what? That's fine. Whatever. I've done it.
I don't know, though. Think about that. Think about buying any other device that you specifically own and not being able to do what it is that you want with it.
Yeah, I mean, that is a little ridiculous.
Especially when you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a device. Granted,
I mean,
yes,
here's the thing.
Granted, my S9 costs thousands of dollars, but
if you want to play rules lawyer here, technically Apple didn't do anything wrong.
Hold on, disclaimer.
Those are the rules.
Hold on a second, Zach. Disclaimer. We are not lawyers, so do not take any legal advice from us.
Oh, we're not offering that.
Continue.
All I'm saying is that technically, Apple didn't break the rules.
No, they didn't.
They terminated the account because Epic did break Apple's rules. Okay, great.
Again, but legally, Apple is right here, and Epic is wrong.
There is a certain common sense factor here, though, and I'm not sure how this I don't even I don't even know if that could be turned into a legal thing or what. But I mean, isn't it a little ridiculous that Apple has the keys to the only place that you can get software for an iPhone?
And again, we go back to that argument of, does Apple have a monopoly?
Now, no, they don't, because there are, two major players. But at the same time,
well,
there's only
hold on.
There's only two, and Apple holds a huge market share. There is still, an antitrust argument in there. Maybe.
I think the argument is that on an iOS device or on an Apple product, within that Apple product, does Apple have a monopoly? You could well, I don't know. Could you carry that argument over to Android? Because there are third-party app stores, I believe, on Android for Android devices.
Google is pretty safe from anything here because.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm trying.
Apps. You can download a whole other app store if you want to.
And that's what I'm saying is.
And some phones even come with that.
And that's what I'm saying. You're right, they do. Mine does. But that's what I'm saying is that I know. But that's what I'm saying is that on an Apple device, it is the App Store or this very convoluted, and I'm sure somewhere buried in Apple's, TOS. Is against their terms of service. I don't know.
Unless anything will happen to Google, but I think that
no, and that's not what the argument that I'm trying to make is. The argument that I'm trying to make is that
there is definitely an argument to be made that Apple exercises too strict control over, what people can and can't install on their phones. Whether or not the 30% fee that they take for the in-app purchases from the App Store is fair, I mean, I don't know. That's at a glance.
We'll talk about that.
But whatever. Are we talking about something else now?
No, we're not. But we will when we transition topics here.
Okay, but anyway, then it would be a much easier case for Apple if, say, maybe there was another way that you could get software for your iPhone as well. Then they can say, oh, well, if you don't like it, you can just do this instead.
Do you know what Apple's argument is going to be on this, though?
It's going to be, we made the rules and you agreed to them.
No.
No? What do you think it's going to be?
Security.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Well, if I want to compromise my device's security, let me do it. I don't care.
But that's like saying, no, hang on.
I'm sure they, if anything were to happen, let's say Epic wins here, and some government body says to Apple, all right, you need to do this. You need to add in you need to allow people to easily sideload stuff or whatever. But you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna cover it in warning stickers that says, "Warning, security, alert." Warning, viruses, you're going to get viruses if you do this for sure. Don't do it. And, 99% of people are going to be like, whoa, hold on.
We've already seen this in the repair industry.
Yeah. Well,
and that's why I say security.
I don't really think this whole thing is going to go anywhere, to be honest.
No.
I really don't think this is going to go anywhere. Like,
here's the thing.
They're going to settle, or Epic's going to give up, because, Apple has so much money. Apple can just do whatever they want here.
Well, okay, hang on. I will follow that up in a second here. But let me say this, and that is that here's why I think security. Because think about it, right? Is Apple's argument for why
to say that.
Right, but Apple's argument for the end user and non-ASP or not Apple ASPs
that they're going to use to look like the good guy while simultaneously being greedy.
Right, but Apple says that non-Apple ASPs and end users fixing their own devices could be dangerous. And
you might install stuff that we don't want you to. What?
I think the biggest thing that you could ever probably run into while repairing your own device, like your biggest issue is probably blowing up a battery. Well, actually, I don't know if the battery will actually blow up, but like, spontaneously combust. Will catch fire. I think that's probably the biggest risk that you could ever have with repairing a device. Aside from, shorting something out and like killing your motherboard or something like that. But in terms of like actual, like, physical damage to yourself, and a
Yeah, I
danger to
mean,
yourself,
you're kind
I
of
think
right. At the end of the day, this is just another like, I want to do what I want with my device case.
right. Now, what oh shoot, I should have gone off on it when you said it. What were you saying before that I needed to come back to? I can't remember now.
I don't even remember.
Dang it, Zach. Shoot.
Whatever.
What was it? No, because I had a good discussion about it that I wanted to say.
Oh, the
but-
30%.
Nope, it's not the 30%, although we will talk about that in our next topic. Oh, shoot, what was it? Oh, the warning messages, I think.
Oh yeah, if Apple were for any reason forced to allow people like additional ways of installing stuff on their phone, I guarantee you it will be covered in warning messages that say this is not secure, you're going to get hacked.
Apple already
Another
does that.
stupidity.
On the
Oh, yeah.
on newer devices, if we replace the battery, if we replace the screen.
Warning, this battery is going to steal your credit cards.
No, it doesn't say that, but
Oh yeah. I
we
know,
do
I'm
get a
just
message
being
that
ridiculous.
says, actually, I don't remember if the screen does it. I think it does. I know the battery does for sure. The end user will get a message that says basically that it is not a like
unauthorized battery.
yeah, like an unauthorized party may have replaced your battery.
Yeah. Very good, Apple. Very good.
It's a scare tactic.
Yep.
I
mean, sometimes people see that and they just don't know, like, what the heck is that? What?
right.
Like,
We have to explain then to the end user that, it's nothing.
I hope you talk as much trash about Apple as you can while you're doing that. Like, oh yeah, because they.
So here's what I
it's
say.
weird.
I basically say, look, you're going to get a message that says that we've replaced your battery. This is just Apple's, kind of, I don't know, it depends on the customer, but it's basically a giant middle finger to third-party repair shops. And, anyway, a lot of times, like I said, it depends on the customer. And you can, I don't know, you have a way of kind of sensing. But that's like a customer that's going to like get it and like be all right with us kind of going that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the much nicer kind of PC, like, you're going to see this message. This is just Apple not taking kindly to third-party repair shops, repairing their devices. They want complete and utter control over everything. So, yeah, it's annoying. So, but let's see here. So yeah, so Apple did pull their account, as first noticed by some guy from Mac Stories on Twitter. The App Store now shows an alert saying this app is currently not available in your country or region when you try to access Epic's profile or any of their apps through a direct link, such as one from Infinity Blade Stickers app. It's worth mentioning that Epic Games has an alternative Apple account to manage its Unreal Engine, which according to a judge cannot be blocked by Apple in retaliation for the Fortnite situation. The account that was blocked today was only used, or the other day I should say on Friday, was only used to offer Fortnite and some other apps from Epic, which consequently will now prevent the company from offering any updates to its game on Apple platforms. It's worth mentioning, if you have the game on your device already, it's not going anywhere. But don't uninstall it.
I'm sure there are iPhones listed on eBay
There are.
for like twice the price that says it has Fortnite installed.
There are. That has already happened. Let's see. There's an update on the story. Apple has now shared an official statement about terminating Epic's App Store account. We are disappointed that we have had to terminate the Epic Games account on the App Store. No, you're not.
We're so sorry. We had to. We had no choice.
We have worked with the
They
team.
weren't gonna pay us money. They weren't going to pay us all the money.
We have worked with the team at
I'm
Epic
Apple
Games
upset.
for many years on their launches and releases. The court recommended that Epic comply with the App Store guidelines while their case moves forward. Guidelines they followed for the past decade until they created this situation. Until they created this situation.
They did.
Yeah,
That's fair. They did.
they did.
I mean, they knew,
but
and they were like, this whole thing. I mean, they knew this was going to happen because, and you can tell because within like an hour they had already filed a suit against Apple.
yeah, they knew this was going to happen.
So
but
I'm sure the lawyers were like, had all the documents like in hand, ready to go.
Is Apple in the right
And
here, though,
They're sitting
to...
there waiting for their account to get banned, and they're like, oh, quick, sue them, quick.
Hold on, hang on. Could it also be said that Apple holds a monopoly on how developers must take payments?
Yes, it does. I'm just saying that, this whole thing is like, Epic created this situation. They knew this was going to happen, and they did this because they wanted to challenge that. They wanted to challenge that status quo.
Let's see. So Epic has
And
refused.
They must think they can. I don't know. I don't know if I think they can or don't, but if they've done this, they clearly think that they can.
So Epic has refused. Instead, they repeatedly submitted Fortnite updates designed to violate the guidelines of the App Store. This is not fair to all other developers on the App Store and is putting customers in the middle of their fight. We hope that we can work together again in the future, but unfortunately, this is not possible today. I know what I was going to say. Is this a smart move for Apple to make a huge deal over this? Because here's the thing.
Here's the thing. If they give in, then everyone else is going to say, well, I want a discount too.
That's true. But hang on.
I'm sure Apple doesn't like this either, because now they're not getting a 30% cut of all Fortnite in-app purchases.
And
as long as
create
Epic can't sell or provide Fortnite on the App Store, Apple is not making any money from it.
That's true. But Fortnite is still a huge game, right?
Oh, it is.
Right?
And Epic has already tried to weaponize its player base.
Will they succeed? See, here's the thing. Is this smart on Apple's part? Because there's going to be...
even follow it.
But here's the thing. If you don't have it on your device and you want it, right? Or you want updates or things like that, right?
Yes.
Does this create a situation where Apple has now shot themselves in the foot? Again, Fortnite is a huge
you think people
game.
Are going to buy an Android phone just so they can play Fortnite?
They might. A cheap Android phone?
I'm sure someone might, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to do that.
Well, you're not that into the game.
Enough. I'm sure some people did, but I don't think a huge number of people would do that.
I mean, you can run Fortnite on a toaster, so does that mean that people...
you can just get an old computer and play.
Right, but does that mean that that's what people are going to do?
The other reason that I say that Epic definitely knew this was going to happen is because they already had a video made and ready to show players about this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was planned out.
So, I'm sure they knew this was going to happen. But whatever. I don't play or follow Fortnite. I just read some stuff. Look here, they already had something made just for the occasion. Funny how that is.
After Apple's statement, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney said he disagrees that the company has spammed the App Store review process with Fortnite builds for iOS. He says Apple's statement isn't forthright. They chose to terminate Epic's account. They didn't have to. And that's true. They didn't have to. They chose to. Well, again, fully within their rights.
Well, it's one of those things where if they don't, they're, then everyone else is going to be like, well, if the rules aren't for Epic, they're not for me either, right? They're going to have to justify, like, well, why do these rules exist if these guys get to break them?
The other day, Epic sent an email to Fortnite players once again emphasizing that the iOS and Mac versions of the game are now officially blocked from receiving updates. Oh, yeah, so I guess you can't... I don't know if you can't just sideload it onto a Mac itself, or if it was only... I don't know. or if it was offered only through their App Store on the Mac.
They already have side load available for Google Play, not Google Play for Android devices, because Google Play blocked them.
Anyway, that means Fortnite players on Apple platforms have also lost access to multiple platform game modes. Fortnite wasn't offered through the App Store for Mac users. However, the company needs its developer account to certify the games as a trusted app. Oh, okay. Security.
So it's probably the whole, like, there's going to be warnings if you try to play it.
Well, Epic Games is now officially banned from the App Store. Apple is tactfully promoting PUBG Mobile for iOS users, which is an altered popular battle royale game that competes directly with Fortnite.
Epic. Yes.
The first case...
that's kind of funny. I just think that's funny. Like, oh, while you're banned, we're running ads for your competitor.
The first hearing of the case between Apple and Epic Games is expected to take place at the end of September. Let's talk about this Apple App Store tax. Okay? WordPress founder claims Apple cut off updates to his completely free app because it wants 30% cut. Now, here's the thing, and this is what I want to talk about now that we're in this topic, is that 30% cut. Okay? Let's talk about the guys over at Floatplane Media, or Linus Tech Tips. So, their team...
Why are we talking about them?
Because this ties directly into this. So, their team has built up its very own video platform called Floatplane. You pay some money, and you can support your favorite creators that are on that platform, right? They built an iOS app. Launched it on the App Store. Because of all of the rules that Apple has put in place, it is basically the user experience on the iOS app is, from what my understanding now is a piece of crap. It's basically just a viewer. There's no way to subscribe to the users or anything like that because Floatplane is still a small company. They cannot afford to give Apple a 30% cut. And that is probably true. That is true of most other small app developers. They cannot afford to give Apple 30%.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a really tough argument, and I'm not a lawyer, of course, and I don't even pretend to have an answer, but the dilemma is this, right? It's kind of, from a common sense perspective, it is ridiculous that Apple takes 30% of the revenue from apps on the App Store, and there is no other way to offer your app to Apple device users, right? But
yeah, you're right.
At the same time, the legal argument is, well, Apple built this market. They made the device, they made all the software, they made everything, so they get to control it. And since that is technically correct, it's really hard to challenge that.
How far though? Because again, that does create this monopolistic system here, where
it does.
If you want to offer, if you want to sell something to your customers through an app that you built, the only way that you can process those payments is to either pay the 30% cut to Apple for doing it, or not include it. And here's the thing. If you ask yourself, okay, what about a link to a payment page?
That's probably not allowed.
Not allowed. So now I really think you do run into a situation where that I feel is taking it too far.
Technically, though, from a legal standpoint, that is fair. And that is why it's so hard to challenge that. I agree with you.
Is it fair?
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if it's fair.
I agree. I don't think it is either. But I'm saying that from a legal standpoint, yes, it is. And Apple can say, well, legally, this is fair, so you can't challenge it.
Well, let's get into this. So WordPress.
So it's really hard. But I hope that something comes of this. I would be glad if something became of this.
And is this
government organization said you can't do this anymore?
And
Apple.
is this so is this Well, I'm sure Epic Games is doing it for probably the wrong reasons, greedy reasons. Sure. But if
Epic
they
Games
succeed,
is a greedy company too.
If they
Let's
succeed,
they're not a victim. They are a greedy company, just like Apple is.
Right. If they succeed, though, what does that mean for the small app developer? Does it turn out to be a good thing?
Well, it depends what becomes of it.
Right. Exactly. Depends what comes out of it. If they succeed, though, does it possibly
be great?
Right. Does it help the little guy? But anyway, let's talk about this.
Couldn't hurt them. Really couldn't hurt the small developer.
Probably not. Let's talk about this though. So WordPress, you know what WordPress is, right, Zach?
Just a web thing.
It is a CMS or a content management system.
There we go. That's the word.
A very, very popular content management system. In fact, I was going to say pretty much every website, but every website, with the exception of like HTML stuff that I do on the side, but every website that I run is built on WordPress. And the reason is because it's a great platform. It's open source. It's easy to use. There are many, it's actively developed. It's great. And it's free. So there's two versions of it. So you can actually, there's WordPress.com, which is actually, I think they offer their own, hosting and stuff like that. So you don't have to install anything. You just pay them some money. They manage all the back end, all this good stuff. But then it's also open source to WordPress.org, where you can host it on your own servers, and it's open source and do whatever you want with it. So great, right? But WordPress, the iOS app, lets you build and manage a website right from your iPhone, iPad, whatever, for free. Separately, WordPress.com also happens to sell domain names and fancier website packages. Now, this is a free app, and WordPress founder developer Matt Mullenweg is accusing Apple of cutting off the ability to update the app unless he adds in-app purchases, so the most valuable company in the world can extract its 30% cut of money.
Now that, yeah, I mean that's honestly a little ridiculous. But so, what about other free apps that don't have any paid like components? Like,
well, here's why.
Surely there are plenty of such apps.
Well, hold on, we haven't gotten into
Apple angry about this one.
We'll get into it in a second here. He says, heads up on why at WordPress iOS updates have been absent. We were locked by App Store. To be able to ship updates and bug fixes again, we had to commit to support in-app purchases from .com plans. I know why this is problematic. Open to suggestions. Allow others. IAP, new name. Anyway, so here's the thing. The WordPress app on iOS doesn't sell anything.
Well, yeah, and Apple says you must sell something so we can get our cut, or else we're not.
The app simply lets you make a website for free. There isn't even an option to buy a unique .com or even .blog domain name from the iPhone and iPad apps. It simply assigns you a free WordPress domain name and 3 gigabytes of space. Apple admitted to The Verge that it isn't involved, reminding us that in-app purchases are required whenever apps allow users to access content, subscriptions, or features they have acquired in your app on other platforms or your website.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to make the argument for Apple here. I mean, really the only argument is, well, it's their platform, so they can do what they want, which, that argument pretty much applies to anything that they do.
This is going over the top.
And it is
though.
Ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous.
This is going over the top.
It's completely ridiculous. I'm sure that Apple will use that argument, just like I said, well, it's our platform, our rules, we do what we want. It's in the TOS that we can terminate your account for any reason, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? That's stupid.
Here's the
Come on. It doesn't take a person with a PhD to figure out this is stupid. Like, come on.
This is the part that is frustrating about this.
It also seems like, is this really worth it for Apple to like make a big deal out of it?
Right.
Are they really going to make that much money off of WordPress? I don't know.
Or other apps.
Obviously, they're going to make a lot of money off Fortnite. I'm not surprised they make a big deal about Fortnite.
I still think it's
WordPress. Come on.
Okay, hang on. Here's the thing. I still think it's dumb that the only way to process a payment in an app is directly through Apple's payment processing system, and they take a 30% cut of that, right?
Yep, it is dumb. It's dumb.
Here's where it goes from dumb to just idiotic, is that
mandating that they must have something you can pay for in the app?
I don't know if that's actually what it is. No, what they're mandating is the fact that there's a way to access subscriptions and content and all this other stuff. Basically, if you include anything in your app that somehow relates to money, whether it's built into the app,
if you bought it elsewhere and used your app to access it, then
yes,
you have to give us a cut of it. Okay,
right?
That's stupid.
So if they so if WordPress builds an app, or if we build an app and we put a button in there that opens a website to
you have
make
to
the subscription
to in another place,
right? So even a website, right? So you've got a page on your website for that subscription and that processing to be done, and you put that link in your app.
Oh no, I don't think that's even it. I don't think that's it, is it?
Yes.
I thought it was like, what if there was a page in the app that, let's say, I don't know, that this app, goes to, let's say this is like an app with some videos, right? I don't know. And you're a subscriber, and so that means you can access super secret videos, I don't know, whatever. And the super secret videos are in the app, right? But you can't buy anything in the app. Apple still is not happy with that, because you can buy that elsewhere, and Apple wants a cut of that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure even if you included a link to an outside web page to take that money, Apple's just going to say no. Either your app will not be on the App Store, or it won't be on the App Store unless you give them unless any forms of payment, no matter how you get to it, if you get to it through the app, it doesn't matter where it goes after that. If you access some kind of payment system directly through the app, whether it's directly built into the app, or like I said, I'm pretty sure even if there's a link that takes you to an outside place to do it, like a web page, that can't be mentioned. That is taking it too far. Yes, it's dumb.
I'm pretty sure that's how it is, because from what my understanding is from the Floatplane team is that they looked at doing that and apparently they couldn't. And so now basically the app is you sign in and you can just watch the videos. That's about it.
Oh, okay. So if you've subscribed elsewhere and then you sign in, you can use it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised that Apple even lets them do that, because that's the whole thing that I was like, that's the whole point I was trying to make with the example.
But nowhere in the app can there be...
Nowhere in the app can you mention, hey, you can buy this.
Right. Unless...
That's stupid.
Unless you give Apple their 30% cut.
It's still dumb.
It's not dumb. It's idiotic.
That's a huge amount. Really.
Again, and that's what the argument is.
It should be based on how much you're making.
Thank you! I was just gonna say that.
I mean,
it should be a sliding scale.
You could even say something about Epic there, because, the Unreal Engine, or maybe it's a different one. I think it's an Unreal Engine, though. The Unreal Engine is free if you don't make over, some amount of money. I think it's like $100,000 or something. It's free. You can just use it for whatever you want.
You know what? Let's look at this,
it's
too.
Either Unreal Engine or Unity. I forget. But one of those has that, as like their license thing, right? If you don't make that much money, you can just use it for free. As soon as you make that much money, you have to give them, a royalty fee on everything.
Let's look at this for comparison real quick here. Let's just look at how ridiculous the 30%.
And it's not 30% either. It's like 15 or 10.
Let's look at how ridiculous this 30% cut is, though. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, right now I've got PayPal's website up, right? So you can use PayPal on your website, or I guess not in your apps anymore, but in your website to take payments. Or you can, I have a little card reader, right? and I can take payments through that.
Square things.
Well, Square's another option. PayPal offers their own thing, right?
Oh, okay.
So,
I thought you meant
if you're selling goods or services and the sale occurs through an online transaction in the US, a fee of 2.9% of the transaction amount plus a fixed fee based on the currency is taken. 2.9%.
Well, the other thing you have to remember is that Apple, I mean, their margins are infinite on that 30%, almost.
US
Because, you know,
dollar.
technically, it costs them money to make the App Store and stuff. But if you think about it, Apple didn't make anything that they are charging 30% for. Well,
Look, here's the thing. The
they
reason
kind
that
of did again, but they did not make the app or the in-app purchase or the whatever people are buying, and you still have to pay them 30%. It's crazy.
I think what the argument is that, and here's the same reason that PayPal does this, is you are basically paying them for that service of processing the payment. But again,
Of course,
PayPal
it takes servers and infrastructure.
Right,
to do
exactly.
that.
But PayPal is only taking 2.9% plus 30
And
30
software.
cents.
I mean, Apple's argument is going to be, hey, we gave you access to our market and whatever, so you must pay. Blah 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 blah.
You already have to pay Apple $100 to publish your app to have a developer account.
Sucks. I don't know. We're just, we at Apple, we just don't have enough money. We really need more, honestly. You need to pay 30%.
Square is a 2.6%.
Because we don't have enough money. Sorry.
Square, 2.6% plus 10 cents.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
for
that's
every
fine, but
tapped
we
mobile
at
payment.
Apple really don't have enough money. You need to pay.
How is it that these companies here can process these payments for like under 3%?
Yeah, but you just don't understand. We at Apple, we need that money. We really do. We're just so poor.
Look, I'm sure there's a way to do it, right? From a standpoint of looking at TechBay Media, if we were to create some kind of proprietary app, right? And I think we have more options at that point, but if we were to create some proprietary app, probably gonna pick Android devices to run it on top of.
Yeah, but not many people, or not a whole lot. I actually don't know the answer about that, but it would seem foolish not to make both versions, right?
Well, we're talking a proprietary in-company app.
Oh, well, you don't have to use either of them. Just sideload it.
Right, exactly. But it'd be much easier to sideload it in a Android device.
Of course, it would be. I don't know what such an app would be for. But...
collecting. Honestly, it would be for collecting information. So the idea kind of behind it is like, let's say we go out and do some kind of assessment or something like that of a location. We have some way of tracking those, making notes and other stuff like that into a proprietary app that we have.
I think you're using the word wrong, to be honest. But
what do you mean?
I think that you're using proprietary wrong, but
no, proprietary only to us.
I guess, yeah. Like, you'd mean like private? I don't know.
Yeah, private and what is the definition of proprietary?
I just feel like the context is not quite correct, but whatever. Nitpicking. Whatever, I don't care.
Relating to an owner or ownership. What I'm saying is our own private app that is not publicly accessible to anybody else. It's proprietary just to us.
That's cool. I don't know.
I'm not a developer, so anyway.
Whatever.
But
You're a developer to know that, though.
Yeah. But no, would not be publicly. Well, yeah, a lot of companies have proprietary apps. Like I know Coke and Pepsi have proprietary apps that they run for doing like their delivery stuff, keeping track of their deliveries. Quickstar has a proprietary app for keeping track of like their food safety data, I think, and probably a couple other things. So anyway, but moving on. Wrong button. Time for Microsoft news. So, what do I got for Microsoft news this week? Oh, yeah. Zach, what did Microsoft recently launch?
I don't know.
Their new flight simulator.
Oh yeah.
Has some amazing bugs, glitches, and maintain high. What? Help!
What?
Help me out here. Hang on.
Mountain high obelisks?
Oh, mountain high obelisk. What the heck is an obelisk?
It's, if I remember correctly, it's like a monument or something. I'm gonna Google it.
It's a tall, four-sided, narrow, tapering monument. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Oh. Okay, that is a little funny. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really surprised that something like that has some bugs, given given the scope of the project.
I think it's kind of comical how many bugs there are in it, though. I think I could be wrong on that.
See, here's the thing. The game attempts to depict the entire world.
I think it does through. Get ready for it.
Procedural generation.
Bing Maps.
Bing Maps. Okay. I'm sure. Actually, is anything procedurally generated? I don't think it is.
Well, Microsoft Flight Simulator produces some stunning realism most of the time, but there's the odd occasion where things go hilariously wrong. PC players inside simulated airplanes have been scouring the globe this week and have discovered some rather amusing glitches. The biggest discovery is a giant mountain-high obelisk in Melbourne, Australia. The unusually tall building doesn't exist in real life, but Bing Maps thinks a giant obelisk dominates the skies of northern Melbourne.
Well, okay, I guess.
Microsoft Flight Simulator uses Microsoft's Bing Maps technology.
Whatever.
Oh boy. Streaming data directly from 2 petabytes of storage in the cloud. So it's likely that this particular glitch is based on incorrect Bing Maps data. Why am I not surprised? Wait, I'm sorry. Bing? What's Bing?
I didn't even know Bing Maps was a thing.
Have you ever heard of Bing? I've never heard of Bing. Zach, what's Bing?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it before.
It's a little surprising that, no one gave a once over to to places like, some of these
Come on,
land-
dude. It's Microsoft.
Yeah, but I don't think. Well, it's like a studio owned by Microsoft.
A studio owned by Microsoft. Think about that statement.
I guess that's fair. But still, it's not.
Look,
It's not like
Microsoft
the
is the
same
company
people
that has
have
brought
been
you.
making Windows updates and stuff like that.
Microsoft is the company that has brought you such features as you didn't need that data, we're going to delete it, and giant pop-up messages, and we're just going to update your software without you knowing or without you asking.
Interesting how does this happen? That's so weird. It must have some way of interpreting satellite imagery into like a 3D environment, I guess. I don't know. It just looks, because I mean it's it's all satellite imagery, right? So it has to look at that and somehow extrapolate from that, what is actually here. Now clearly it's wrong about a lot of things.
Well, some Flight Simulator players have been visiting the obelisk at midnight, eager to get some pictures of the giant structure before it's inadvertently removed. Giant obelisks aren't the only thing going array in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The game uses Azure-powered procedural generation technology to fill any gaps in the Bing Maps data. So it might be on that end then.
Oh.
Landmarks and bridges can't be generated with AI, so they need to be built by hand. That leaves some parts of cities looking a little odd if you look too close. Okay. Let's see. Landmarks and bridges. Really? That's interesting. Flight Simulator players discovered that Buckingham Palace, the official London residence of Britain's monarch, has been turned into an office building.
See, that's a little bit funny. Like, come on, no one checked that. No one checked the Washington Monument, apparently, because it's just an office building.
No, Buckingham Palace, dude.
No, also,
Oh.
the Washington Monument has been turned into an office building.
Oh! No, it's been turned into a narrow skyscraper.
Are those two things necessarily different?
Yes, because the one actually looks like a...
Actually, this one looks excessively large, so fair enough. But still, I mean, okay, whatever, I don't know. I'm sure this stuff will be ironed out. But yeah, it is funny. And also, there's an argument to be made of, like, should it have been released like this? Well,
no.
There's also an argument to be made that they couldn't possibly have gotten through all of this. I don't know. Maybe.
Over on the West Coast, the game seems to be struggling with palm trees that line the streets of Southern California. And Flight Simulator, they've turned into weird angular structures jutting out of the ground like prehistoric shark teeth. Okay.
Again, that's kind of an obvious one. Like, how did they miss that?
Oh my gosh. Flight Simulator players have stumbled upon other places where objects are rendered crudely, including a bridge in Portland where trucks are glued to the sides. What? I gotta look at this.
Oh my. Well, that's interesting. Oh my, what is that?
Oh!
What is that? That is horrible.
Oh, these are glued to the side.
Is that how bridges look now?
Some of the glitches can be down to the data streaming settings that players pick in Flight Simulator, though. One player discovered that TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida, looks like it has been filled with grass with a sunken office-like building in the middle of the stadium. Did you see that one?
Uh-huh.
Are you looking at that?
Yes, I've seen it.
Oh my gosh. We visited the TIAA Bank Field this morning, and it rendered in all its glory with all the data streaming settings enabled. It's unlikely that Asobo Studio, the developers behind Microsoft Flight Simulator, fixed the stadium in less than 24 hours. Some of the visual glitches that people are experiencing could be related to internet connectivity, to the streaming data used to power Flight Simulator, or simply due to players not enabling the full data download when the game is configured. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
The glitches are more amusing when they are game-breaking, and you're not likely to notice some of the inaccuracies unless you're flying low, or you know how many buildings are supposed, or how many buildings are supposed to look in a particular city or area. This person says that they've spent hours flying around parts of the world and never visited in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's still a stunningly realistic visual or virtual vision of our planet, even if some giant obelisks are creating some virtual air traffic over Australia. Oh my gosh. You're right, though. How does this happen? Well, clearly, the game was not ready for release.
It happens because it has to download all of that data. as you're playing.
There should be some way then.
And because, like they said, a algorithm generated some of this, or a lot of it.
They should have had these ironed out, though. Like
They should have
Buckingham.
some of them are pretty bad. Like, come on. Why?
Yeah, like Buckingham Palace and the Washington Monument. Yikes.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Speaking of gaming, AMD has launched their AMD Radeon RX 5300. It says step into 1080p gaming.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, there you go. There's the specs. Let's see.
I'm sure not a lot of many. Yeah. I'm sure not a lot of people are interested in this with the whole Nvidia thing coming up, but it's a thing, I guess.
Budget gaming. For Battlefield 5
I'm thinking that Nvidia is stealing the show here.
It looks like they are comparing this to a GTX 10 or 1650 OC. In Battlefield 5, on high settings, they got 86 frames per second. Monster Hunt World, with the highest settings set at 69 frames per second. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, with high settings at 69 frames per second. And PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on ultra settings at 70 FPS.
And these numbers mean nothing. Because guess what? They can pick titles that perform well on their cards, and yeah. I don't know, whatever.
It says customizable gaming experience. Take your gaming experience to the next level. Experience stutter-free, tear-free gaming. Reduce input latency and day zero drivers optimized for new game releases.
Whatever.
Specifications. How much does this thing cost? I don't even know how much this thing costs.
Only 3 gigs of VRAM. It's a little low, I feel.
It's for budget gaming.
That's fair, but at the same time, how much does it cost? That's what I want to know.
The retail availability of the card isn't announced yet, but considering that the Radeon RX 5500 XT for well, it's out now.
It's not exactly unheard of for a quote unquote budget card to have 6-8 gigs.
Looks like maybe 130 bucks.
I mean, for that much, I could get it. I don't know, I guess. I was gonna say I could probably go buy like a used 1060 for that much, but at the same time, will a 1060 push that performance? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not really in the know about graphics cards right now.
And Apple is preparing its own search engine. In the past few years, Google has been paying Apple billions of dollars just for the company to keep Google as the default search engine in every aspect of the company's products. Starting from iOS up to macOS, they included Google as the default search engine. However, the deal between two companies might be coming to an end in July this year. A UK corporation and Markets Authority took a shot at a dealing, claiming that the company imposed a barrier on any market competition in the search engine space. Constant pressure from regulators and the fact that Apple doesn't want to be reliant on any company is possibly giving Apple ideas to launch its own search engine. Wait, hold on. Impose a barrier on any market competition. That sounds familiar.
Sounds like something Apple would do, yeah.
No. A barrier on market competition in the search engine space. What about a barrier on any market competition in the payment processing space through your app store?
I think you mean just the App Store space on their devices because there's only one.
Well, I guess if you make the argument of sideloading, but anyway. It's funny how apparently when it affects Apple, they don't take too kindly to it.
I know. It's real double standard, isn't it?
Recent changes in the Spotlight search on iOS 14 and iPadOS 14 beta is making the software bypass Google's search engine completely. Wow. Yeah, yeah, again, very, very hypocritical on Apple's part here if you look at it from that standpoint. Oh, look, something is, something here just isn't working out for us. We don't like this.
Well, yeah, Epic are hypocrites too, actually, because they are, a lot of people are not happy with them for basically buying exclusivity rights to a lot of games and forcing people to use their launcher to play them. Funny how that works. Funny how it sucks when people do that back to you, isn't it? Like, oh, well, you can only distribute to Apple customers on Apple's store. Oh, really now? Okay.
I don't think
that sure sucks.
No, I don't think it's the fact that they can only distribute it through Apple Store. It's the fact that they can only distribute it through Apple Store, and the payments all must go through Apple.
The point I'm trying to make.
I get the point that you're trying to make too. You know what's funny though is, and I'm not actually sure if this is true.
Unfortunate for them. How unfortunate for them. I'm just devastated to hear that.
I'm not sure if this is actually true, but I think YouTube has some kind of special pricing agreement with Apple where they don't have to pay the 30%. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's true. Funny. So your argument of it's not fair for everyone else goes out the window with that. If that's true, I don't know if it is.
I didn't make that argument. I just said that if they didn't enforce these,
But they're not, apparently. If that's true, they're not.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know.
So, anyway. Yeah. Apple search engine may be on the way. We'll see. Yeah. Cool. Apple's a horrible company. Epic's a horrible company. Google's a horrible company.
Yeah.
And Facebook just steals all your data.
One of the worst companies. Ugh.
So,
Facebook.
Anyway. All right. I got nothing else for this week. So, if you like the show, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Get subscribed down below if you haven't done that already. Turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. And we should be back, I think, next week. So, until then, we will talk to you then.